That ride armor, that shoulder cannon, and the T-shaped visor. Could it be? There's no mistaking this character. Vile is one of Mega Man's most well-known villains, and today he takes a stage on this Basics On video. Let's jump in and see what makes him such a feared foe from the Hunters. Vile, also known as Vaba, originally appeared in the classic 1991 title Mega Man X. He's also appeared in Xtreme, Mega Man X3, and Mega Man X8. He was once a Maverick Hunter, much like X, Zero, and Sigma, but chose to join in Sigma's rebellion. He was an SA class hunter, and while good at his job of hunting down Mavericks, he had a defect in his electronic brain that had him focus more on the hunt itself. Due to this, he was able to throw out unnecessary things during a mission, like safety, and orders, efficiency, the things that don't matter. He was on thin ice of being considered a Maverick himself. He was taken off of field work and detained, but when Sigma rebelled, he broke free and continued to do what he loves best: fight. Sigma sees great potential in X, something Vile cannot fathom, and then makes it his life mission to defeat X. From there, he challenges X on the highway, ultimately defeating him. This encounter, though, teaches him that Zero is going to be a problem child in his endeavor of taking down X. Being the hunter that he is, he preps for another encounter with the duo. Depending on the game, he either traps Zero in a capsule, seen in X1, or just outright defeats him before X arrives on scene, and uses his body to lure in X for an ambush. While in his own route of Maverick Hunter X, the Hunter duo appears to get the drop on him this time around, but he proves himself superior until a last-ditch effort from Zero holding him in place, while X takes a final charge shot.
Change the world? Sounds like Maverick talk to me. Let go! X, shoot now!
Not a charge shot!
Both games have Vile here as the main factor of the first death of Zero, proving just how strong he is. Timeline-wise, Vile appears again in Mega Man Xtreme, but this is only as a data recreation in the Hunter's mother computer. X is able to once again defeat him here. When the events of Mega Man X3 roll around, the games begin to have a more narrative role to them. Thus, there were a few different routes to encounter the Shoulder Cannon Chad. We first see Vile Mark II as a mysterious figure, and anyone who played X1 should have recognized him right away, as he politely, yet firmly, told Dr. Doppler he was going to do what he wanted. This leads him into luring X to a factory, where he waits to do battle. As X arrives, Vile states that the factory is set to blow and they begin to throw down. The story route can split here. Either Vile dies or retreats, depending on if his weakness was used against him. Should he retreat, he appears once more in Doppler's fortress, where he has absolutely trashed the stage. He's broken windows, cracked the foundation, squished the mosquito, and punched out the jellyfish. It's a good element of storytelling through imagery alone to show just how restless and battle-hungry, or plain insane, Vile is. This encounter, Vile has a true showdown with X, and in his inevitable defeat, he proclaims that he would haunt X until the day he dies, which means we wouldn't see him for 5 more games. Eventually, when X8 came around, Vile showed up right away. Now taking the name as Vile 5, he makes a dramatic appearance and takes Lumine, the director of the Jacob Orbital Elevator, hostage. Here he appears less insane, but still eager to battle, as he believes in the end goal that Sigma and the new generation reploids will reform the world. Kinda funny how he goes along here when in Maverick Hunter X he stated he didn't like being a part of other people's plans.
I guess my destroying you here is all part of Sigma's plan. I don't usually like following other people's plans.
Throughout the game, he bides time and occasionally interferes with hunters with a quick fight. And in the last stages, Vile himself is waiting for the hunters atop the Jacob Orbital Elevator, and gives them a full-fledged flight with all of his might. After a quick retreat and defeat, he has one last showdown using his signature weapon, ride armor. After his final defeat here, he has a last-ditch effort which seems to be a self-destruction assault on one of the 3 hunters. In the mobile game, Rockman X Dive, Vi also shows up in the story just to allude that Via is causing issues in the deep log, and then to recreate the battle from X1, with self-destructing Blue Zero included. Later on, he appeared in the Halloween event, where Sigma's unit prior to the rebellion were investigating a castle. As is his style, he attempts to challenge Rico and the player, but Sigma quells him, and then he goes off on his own afterwards. Throughout the games, Vile's personality remains the same. He's snarky and condescending, glowing with confidence and aggressive nature. He has no quarrel starting a fight, and often attempts to agonize others into wanting a fight. He's shown zero concern for anyone other than himself. As a truly selfish reploid, he also is extremely egotistical with a superiority complex, believing that he is the reploid who will change the world. And while Vile only had a few lines in the original Mega Man X, he returned as a playable character with his own unique story route in the remake Mega Man Maverick Hunter X. Here, we get a more in-depth look at the bad boy. It is displayed here that Vile has no true allegiance to anyone, with his goal to take down all of Sigma's subordinates, and then Sigma himself. He only aims to prove himself as the strongest, but has no real purpose in mind once he actually achieves that goal. While he is portrayed as eager to fight, he is not some mindless brute. Vile displays a calculating side in his encounters. For example, in Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, he builds unique arsenals to take on the main 8 Mavericks, placing a trap for Zero in X1, and in X3 he sets a factory to explode just to take out X. Then in X8, he focuses on seizing operations for the orbital elevator. Every encounter was strategically executed to push the hunters to their limits. Vile's design has changed with each incarnation. With each new look, new weapons are crafted. In every version, though, there are 2 defining features to him: a shoulder cannon on his right shoulder, and a T-shaped visor helmet. Originally, he's purple and comes equipped with a cannon as his primary weapon. From it, he can shoot some paralyzing blast, capable of making X useless for a good amount of time. In his knees, he has a grenade launcher that fires off a round that splits when it comes into contact with the ground. His back has a blue booster installed that enables him to make a quick dash getaway. In the remake of Maverick Hunter X, he's given more weapons than frankly one Reploid needs, as well as replacing the Maverick logo atop his head to a V, symbolizing that he was on his own side. Here, Vile comes decked out with Vulcans in his fingers, rockets inside of his arms, and all sorts of variants to his knee bombs and cannon shots. He also has rocket fists and different lasers he can fire from his cannon. From boomerangs to napalm, he can prep for any type of encounter. His revival in X3 brought him a more X-looking outfit. He comes decked out in blue with a big glowing eye. His left shoulder has a missile pack. His cannon can now perform a spread fire paralyzing blast, and his knee bombs create a fire pillar that chases down foes and climbs walls. While he lacks the backpack, he can still dash, and he even has no issues getting into close combat and grabbing X with an iron grip. While never used in the game, he also has a shield that he carries on his back, which is showcased on his toys. In his final appearance in X8, Vile has a whole new loadout. First and foremost, he can fly, which is rad! He also dons green-colored armor, playing more into the whole Boba Fett jokes that fly about him. He has some red cords coming from the back of his helmet that kind of look like dreadlocks, and his armor is more angular this time around. His cannon now fires all sorts of electric shots as often as he wants, as well as being able to discharge lightning covering a large area. The only time his missile pod is used is during the opening stage as a barrage of missiles strike at the player for a cutscene. The exclusive Halloween Vile to Rockman X Dive is based on the X1 Vile, but instead is red and black, with his cannon now changed to a pumpkin. And what's this? He has a baton on his back! What a nice touch! He had 2 attacks, one where he shot an energy bat out of his cannon, which was much like the Twin Phantom from Maverick Hunter X. This move was also able to heal Vile, as it dealt damage to give him that real vampire feeling. His other skill comes from his knee bomb, firing out a pumpkin-themed remote bomb that'll chase down any foe that enters its range of detection. What's Vile's lineup of weaponry without his favorite? From the moment he first shows up on screen until his very final battle, Vile enjoys piloting a ride armor. A true ace pilot. When Vile takes one of these, he's almost unstoppable. His first ride armor was a standard punchy one, just like X could hijack. However, Vile's is showcased here as he's able to pull a few tricks off with it, such as a rapid punch while dashing. In Maverick Hunter X, when Vile finds his ride armor in a stage, it now comes equipped with a crazy spread-fire machine gun that is able to obliterate just about anything in seconds. Later in X3, he actually had two ride armors. Depending on where you fight him, will determine which ride armor he uses. In the factory, he'll come at X with the black kangaroo ride armor. While all he does here is dash and punch, we can safely assume that it has the other kangaroo abilities, such as rotating spike hands, and a chain that'll allow for the spiked knuckle to lash out at foes. In Doppler's lair, Vile takes to a unique ride armor known as the Goliath. Here, he has many more tools to play with. Once more, the ride armor has spiked knuckles, but it also comes equipped with a cannon in its chest, anchors it can fire out, and what looks to be an infinite dash. It's also pretty bulky, so we can safely assume it has a decent amount of armor there attached to it. Lastly, in X8, there's a lone purple standard ride armor on the moon. And while Vile uses it, with no other abilities other than the standard punch, and the barrage punch that the hunters can also do, there's a notable difference with this one. Vile doesn't pilot it, or at least not normally. He stands atop it like he's Captain Morgan, and appears to pilot it telepathically. Vile isn't just limited to games. No, he gets around like many other characters of the franchise. In the Mega Man X manga, Vile plays just as much of a main role as he does in the games. Here, however, he is more composed and strangely philosophical. As an example, his most famous scene involves him comparing bourbon to mud, and how reploids wouldn't know the difference. Turns out that's probably not true, because in the X4 manga, X could taste things like liquor, but who knows. Vile wants X to be as strong as he can be, needing X to unlock his full potential so that he can then strike him down and rightfully claim victory over the legend of Rockman. Until then, he demonstrates his power over the Blue Bomber by stopping a charge shot with one finger, followed up by frightening X with his presence alone. The final battle in Sigma's fortress here is much like it is in the games. We get to see Vile thoroughly enjoying the battle, and eventually being defeated to a charge shot. In his final moments, he attempts to strangle X as a decrepit skeleton, displaying how devoted to his cause he is. In the end, X finishes off and refers to the both of them as demons. He returns later during the Doppler incident, just like in X3. Here in an abandoned building, he lures X to him by playing the piano. As X approaches him, he proclaims how, having been to hell and back, he's become a true demon. And the two have at it. A brutal battle ensues, filled with each using all the weapons that they have. And hey, look at that! It includes Vile Mark II's shield. Neato! In the end, Vile meets his fate to a power bomb from atop a skyscraper. Vile showed up twice in the Mega Man Archie comics. First appearing during the classic X crossover. Here we have a dual storyline, where two moments in time are taking place at the same location, battling one of Wily's robots. Over in the X-Series timeline, Vile is still a Maverick Hunter, and his arrogant attitude shines through as him and Zero share some fun banter. Here we get to see the questionable, reckless actions Vile would take, one of which involves collapsing a highway, with citizens still in the area. Even as Zero is quick to point out the flaw, Vile just brushes it off as he sees he's just doing what he needs to do. Later on, he shows up during the Worlds Collide crossover. We see him here in one of his concept art designs. Equipped with a flail for an arm, he takes on the Maverick Hunter trio of X, Zero, and Axel. Some fans speculate that this is the Mark III or IV, but there is no real confirmation on that. Plus, it wouldn't make sense, as Axel clearly learns of Vile in X8. I mean, look at the face he makes. Dude is dumbfounded. Over in the States, the Ruby Spears Megaman cartoon had a special episode titled Mega X. You can already assume what this is going to entail, but there is some time travel shenanigans where Vile and Spark Mandrill come back to the classic timeline to steal some special metal rods Dr. Light was working on. And they're stealing them for Kigma? Yeah, you're reading that correctly. Being completely impervious to any shot Mega Man fires at him. However, X shows up and puts a wrench in the plan, causing Vile to need to team up with Dr. Wily. There, the two work to put an end to both of the Megas. But in the end, both fail and X pushes Vile and Mandrill into a time portal, leading them back to their place in time. And that wraps up the basics on Vile in a nice little box. What else can really be said about him? Vile is just downright rad. Let me know what you think of our Mandalorian Reploid in the comments below. Till next time, rock on! Also, he was in a poster in Mega Man Battle Network.